Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Virgo. The sun is now in Cancer, and when the sun uses the energy of Cancer, or we look at the sun and behind the sun is the constellation Cancer, right? We recognize that we want to bring love and compassion to all people, like a big family, which we are. We're all interconnected. And the 19 is then the 10, the 10 and the 7, the 17, the star. The sun is a dwarf star, and the 17 then turns into the 8. The 8 is the infinite knowledge that's waiting for us to be discovered in ether, in the air. And so this is talking to you through the sun, and the sun gives the light to the moon, which is right now in your sign, my dear Virgo. Now you see I place the cards to the left. There is a reason for it. I am using the moon to bring you the information. So if you have it in your chart, great, but it doesn't have to be. And we're going to your new moon. We're going back into the left. That's what we feel when we look at the card. We're going left, but when we then become the cards, we're actually going right. And so I place for 6 months the cards to the left and 6 months then to the right, to the full moon. So here we have the 18, which turns into a 9, and you are the 9, a 9-9 portal here right away to let you know you are ready to look deeper within, and you know you are able to let go of feelings that are still in your subconscious, so that you can become a grown person that has evolved into its most optimum level. We're going to look at the Wheel of Fortune. Jupiter has moved into Cancer. I'm going to do certain stations when a planet is going into a new sign. And this is what happened. Jupiter is in Cancer for a whole year. And we're also going to look, of course, at Mercury. Mercury is ruling you, and that's the Magician. And Mercury is also in Cancer. And so we're going to look at that. Then we're going to look at the Knight of Pentacles, and I divide the dates of the Knight of Pentacles into 3 sections. The first one is the Knight of Pentacles with the Strength card above it from Leo. And so you see now that here we have the 8 and the 6, that is the 14, Temperance. Find the middle way here between the wild and the sage, right? Or that innocent woman that is connecting here with Leo. And so this is between the 13th and the 21st of August. Is your birthday there? Then you have this combination: soul, strength, physical, the Knight of Pentacles. And this combination I did in the previous reading because there we had the moon in Leo. And so I use Leo as the time frame that I do the reading for you. Then we have the classical Virgo, which is above the soul aspect, the Hermit. And here below we have the Knight of Pentacles. That's between the 22nd of August to the 11th of September. Is your birthday there? Then this is your combination, and I'm doing this today. And then we have another mix, and that's the Queen of Swords, the Hermit above, below the Queen of Swords, and that's between the 12th of September to the 23rd of September. And so in these divisions, right, we get more of an accurate reading for these sections. And this is also today. So really important for you to understand that I'm making here this distinction. And this comes from Aleister Crowley. He puts the dates together for the court cards. You can look at his book. There's a really, really amazing book by Hayo Banzaf, the Crowley Tarot. An amazing book if you want to go deeper into the tarot. Back to the last reading where we had Gemini, Sun giving Virgo, Moon the light, and we had the station Saturn in Aries, which is going to stay 3 years there. And the Knight of Pentacles got know how to give and take money. And the Queen of Swords, Pluto, is sweeping through your life. And I see one card coming back. And that came up under the Moon. And so we can begin the reading. So the Knight of Pentacles is getting the Page of Cups. And here we have all 3 water signs. But in the pages we understand always that we bring through the Cancer, right? We have Sun in Cancer. Then we have Jupiter and Mercury in Cancer. Cancer is the one that brings the love, brings the feeling of I belong here. So we have Cancer and we have, of course, Scorpio and Pisces here, the young generation. So the 6 and the 3 is the 9, and that creates then a 9-9 portal with the Hermit. What is coming from the Mother Piece Tarot? You get Temperance to the right. And when Temperance appears, it's that mix, like I said, when we mix here the Strength card, the 8, right, with the Knight of Pentacles, we got the 14 here. So the 14 is appearing, and you are seeing that here is important for you to understand that you want to come into a union with what you are and the money that you're making and the love that you want to distribute to the people. So the 9 and then here the 14, right, when we calculate this together, we have the 5 and the 9. Again, the 14 appears. And so something here is telling you, you gotta come into your center. You gotta dance between water and fire. And it's important that you understand that. Now, what is Temperance saying, or Sagittarius, because Sagittarius is connected with it? The 9 of Aries is coming, and that's Mars in Gemini. And this card came last time as well. And so here, through Sagittarius, we see that she's focusing on the within from an outer perspective. She is literally saying, okay, I gotta go deep within. So we have a 9 and a 9 and then the 5 left here, right? And so focus on learning who you truly are, which is important because in there we learn to become someone that is really clever, because usually you have here nightmares, you have difficulties understanding all the messages that are coming to you, and she's literally focusing on one, and that's the completion in the way you think. And so we have a 9-9 portal, right, and the 5, or we literally calculate the 9-9 into the 18 turns into the 9 and the 5. Again, the 14 and the 5 in the end is left. The 5, that human aspect in life that brings us the possibility to learn who we really can become. The Queen of Swords, the 7th house of love and relationship. Meanwhile here, this is the 6th house of work and routine. She gets the Princess of Swords, which is interesting because here we had the Page of Cups, and the pages are the young generation, and here in this deck the princesses are also the pages. So we have here Gemini and we have Libra, and we have Aquarius. And so the 7 and the 3 makes a 10, and the 10 is a new cycle, a new one. You are realizing that you have a dream, and that dream is important, and you want to live that dream. What is coming from the Mother Piece Tarot? You get the Fool to the right. And so to the right, it's pointing at you, and you know you need to start a new chapter. And this chapter is important because you know out of the 10 plus the 0, you make 100. And the 100 is like 100%. You are starting a new path because you had a dream, and that dream you will fulfill now. What is coming from Uranus, which is going into Gemini on the 7th of July, and is gonna stay 7 years in Gemini. So the communication is gonna be really important. Back then, how did you communicate? How did you learn? And now, so here comes the 2 of Wands, which is Mars in Aries. Take action. Take action, because we have 100 and the 2. 102, that's the 3. That's the Empress. That's Venus. That's love. That's money. That's everything you can think of that you need to take the next step. Mars, which is the warrior in Aries, right? And you see that you are commanding life towards you by crossing duality and coming into the center. And so the 102 is the 3, right? And then the 3 clearly is Venus, is the Empress. You are an Empress that takes her life to the next level. And that's something you've been knowing all your life. Then comes Mercury, the Magician. You get the Time Master, the number 57. And the 57 plus the 1, we make 58. And the 58 calculated together is the 13. A transformation in the way you see time, a transformation in the way you see that the clock is melting. That's what Salvador Dali is famous for, a melted watch. And we see the 8 on his chest, and it's almost like he's looking over to him, and he's like, well, that's cool that you did this art piece with the melted clock. That's exactly what time is. Time is running. Time is not something that we can measure. We think we can put everything into a time frame, but in the end, time doesn't exist. And so the 13 turns into a 4, and the 4 is the Emperor. What is coming from Cancer, because Mercury is in Cancer, you get the High Priestess. And so this is really strong, right? We had the 4 and the 2, that's the 6. And the 6 is you love the way you are working with time. You love the way you are now through Mercury becoming empowered. And you know that you are arriving in the 6. And that 6 is important. It's self-love. And self-love can only appear when you really know what you're worth. What's the High Priestess saying? The 5 of Swords are coming, and that's Venus in Aquarius. And Venus, of course, we know is that moment where we love something so much that we think about it really strongly. And so the 5 swords, right, and the 9 swords that came here, it's almost like focus on something that's really empowering you, because the 9 and the 5 is again the 14. And the 14 has come, right? Temperance. Become aware of duality. Become aware that everything is here in this dimension. Dual has an opposite, and we need to realize that. And so here we see then 5 swords left. And this sometimes is an inner fight, a fight with yourself. And so the 5 and the 2 is the 7. That's Cancer. That's when you want to become successful, you need to really be cunning. You really need to be aware. You really need to beat time. And so here we had the 4 and the 7 makes the 11 portal, the 1-1. In a way, the High Priestess is the 1-1 portal, right? And you understand clearly that in the 11 is the possibility to overcome this difficult moment. But for the Knight of Pentacles, he has another 9 errors, so he has 14 errors. He really needs to come into its center. He really needs to overcome that time doesn't exist. That time is just a construct that we have created. And so the Time Master is here to remind you of that. And so the 57, the 12, and then of course the 1 is the 13, and that's where you find the transformation in your life. Then the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter, and Jupiter is also in Cancer, and the first card that's coming up is the Lorelei, the 31, and you see she is connected with her feet to the water element. She has this little toy and she is empowered. She knows what to do because the 31 is the 4, the 10 and the 4, again the 14. So again, Temperance is coming and saying, well, we really need to understand how important it is that we awaken our sense of union. Through the 14 we get the 5, and this is what's happening here. The 5 is left here as well, and we had the 5 of Swords. So the 5 is important. That's the human aspect that we have within us to understand this kind of control over the people here in this boat. What is coming from Cancer? The Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn. That's the career, that's the work. And so we have here altogether a 19, and the 19 is the Sun in Cancer. So you see now that here the Wheel of Fortune is letting you know something. You can change the direction of where you want to go. And the 5 and the 10 is the 15 in your career. Use it and play with it. What is the Queen of Pentacles bringing? She says the 10 of Cups is coming here, and that's Mars in Pisces. And Mars is that moment where we know, okay, I am the one that takes action. When Mars is in Aries, we take action. And when we understand that Mars in Gemini, we can focus on that one thought and we can make it happen. It's a good idea, right? So we have a 10-10 portal framing the 10, and here the 4. The 14 turns into the 5. So the 5, the human, is framed with the possibility that you can change your destiny by becoming loving in the way you are in your family, because Mars in Pisces is always, I take care of my family. I take care of the people that are close to me. And so in there you see clearly that something is talking to you in how do you now take care of your family, of your desires through the work, and how you push this moment to the next level, because you can. Jupiter in Cancer can do that. Then the moon is getting the Woodwives, the number 64. So here is a 10, the 18 is a 9, the 19 is the Sun, and the 10 is left. So the 10 is saying, well, you take care of that new one that is in your mind, clear, because the 10 holds the 0 in it. We need the 0 because the 0 is everything and nothing. And the 1 is the Magician. And the Magician is the one that says, let's do it. Let's go for it. And in there you understand clearly that's the level of understanding we need to come to the next level, because the 10 is clearly saying, well, you have arrived. 3 times the 10, right? And so the Woodwives are those kind of women that are adaptable, and it's the last card in the deck. What is coming from your deck, because the moon is in your sign, you get the 9 of Pentacles. And so we had so far no pentacles here. So these are the 9 pentacles. And what's interesting, the Knight of Pentacles had 9 swords. And so 9 sorrows or difficulties can be taken care of when we know that money is a state of consciousness. And in that state of consciousness, you need to arrive. So the 9-9 portal is framing the 10. The 10, which is Capricorn, your career, your job, your evolving further into a happiness, knowing that you can do that. And you had the 100, remember, so there's 2 zeros there, right? And so the 9-9 portal is framing the 10. And it's a really beautiful reminder, because this is Venus in Virgo, that this is talking to you directly, particularly to the Knight of Pentacles. So don't despair. Know that you can overcome these 9 sorrows with the way you see your self-worth distribute here through Venus in Virgo. You're the goddess in your own garden, and you make things grow. The Sun in Cancer is getting the dark matter, the mystery, the number 38, and the 38 immediately becomes an 11, and the 11 again, the portal, the 19, the 10, 3 times the 1, and 1 0. So you understand that the 1 is letting you know you can become someone that can create its own destiny, its own happiness. The 1 and the 0, the 1 and the 0, right? And here when you combine the 6, which is what the Knight of Pentacles is, the 6 and the 4, the Emperor, the 10 appears. You just need to do it. You need to combine the numbers, right? The 64 is a 64, but when we combine them, we make a conscious effort to bring love and leadership together. Then the 10 appears, and that's the next level. That's the next round. What is coming from Cancer? The Prince of Cups, which is Scorpio, right? And Scorpio is the 8th zodiac sign. So we had here the 11 and the 10. The 10 and the 8 is the 18, and that's the moon. The moon that brought clearly the Woodwives, the being adaptable to any situation, not to despair, and then see that the money comes by itself, the 9. And so here the 11 stays, and the 10 and the 8, the 18, the 9 is left. So this could be a date, 9-11 or 11-9. What is Scorpio saying? He's bringing you the 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands is Saturn in Leo. And Saturn is the world. And the world is in a conflict. So you see that the arrows are going up to the sky. And so the 8 and the 5 is the 13. Again, the transformation in the way you handle money. And the 4 is left. The 10 and the 4, we get the 14 again. So Temperance is talking through the reading. Temperance has come up for the Knight of Pentacles, right? Find your center. Find that place deep within you. Find the connection. And the 11 is here letting you know the portal is here into or through the dark matter. You find a liberation. And actually, we are in a black hole, apparently, right? That's where the newest stand is in astrophysics, is that we are in a black hole. And so this is what I see, that we maybe have understood something very clearly. So the 11 and the 10 and the 4, the 14, the 5 is left. 511, 11-5 as a date here is letting you know you are clearly understanding something. You are awakening to the empowerment. The Queen of Swords is awakening to her next step of courage, because the 2 and the 5 is the 7. That's connecting with her to a 7-7 portal. And the 7 is the crown chakra. The Time Master has the 7 inside. And we understand very clearly, here comes a very powerful moment of I am taking charge, because sometimes we just need to place ourselves in all these actions and make it sure that, yes, a conflict can be difficult, but it can also find the solution. And that solution is something that you want, because Temperance is Sagittarius, is taking a stand, is creating the solutions, and in that you are awakening to your real power. To be a high priestess is not a small feat. It's not a joke. It's something where we see that we can awaken to a self-empowerment, and that we can awaken to become someone really special, right? Like a Woodwives, or here, like the Lorelei, right? We are the type of people that are awakening to, this is who I am now, and I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna help my family to move to the next level. And as such, you're gonna be successful if you listen to the signs that are coming to you. I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the Sun in Leo. Leo hasn't come up except Saturn in Leo. So you taking that step into whatever conflict is there, you find the solution by crossing, by coming into the 7. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.